So you want to know how to write a book, to actually write and not be a writer, but just to write a book? Here you go. I'm gonna teach you now, you little bit. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are gonna be doing a writing course, a short course of writing, you know, just like because I always wanted to remaster my first video ever, but also I wanted to bring you an actual way of writing your book and not just becoming a writer. So let's just jump into it. There's gonna be 7 tips here. There's a lot more that I can talk about, and I will talk about a lot more in another sequel to this video. First of all, this is for veterans and for new people, so you can watch it, and if you are already a writer, maybe this can help you, and if you're a noob, disgusting, get the frick out of here, okay? If you're a noob, get the frick out, I don't want you here. No, just kidding. Let's jump with the first one. If you're a noob here, if you're a newbie that wants to just start writing, just sit down and write, okay? Just sit on your chair, grab your computer, your laptop, your book of writing, whatever you have, and just start wailing on it, okay? Yeah, start writing on it and just keep going at it. If you don't do that, you're gonna be procrastinating. I know you. I'm calling you out. Don't procrastinate. If you're a veteran that already has written books and it's already on the writing scene, if you're starting a new book, think your idea through, okay? Don't just sit down, you have an idea, sit down and write note. Think before you do, okay? Think, is this idea new? Can I improve on it? Is it worth writing? Is it gonna have a satisfying story? Is it just a cool idea on its own but it doesn't stand on anything else? Is it just a concept for a short story instead of a 3-part book? Oh, maybe. You never know. But you need to think about it. You need to let it stew inside your freaking brain, and then when it starts to boil and you can't just hold it any longer, write it. Next, 2. This goes for new writers and old veterans. If you're an old veteran and you're not doing this, I'm gonna judge you a little bit, just a little bit. Don't worry, not too much, because it maybe works for you not doing this, but it usually is better. So, prepare your chapters in advance and think about what's going to happen next. You just don't jump into a next chapter just like writing. No. Sit back, get back, far away from your book, and start pre-writing. You have pre-workout when you are gonna work out in the gym. Now you pre-write, okay? You grab your freaking book and you start just freaking, like, you grab this, like this, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna write, and then you go ahead and pre-write all that you want to happen, okay? You do that in this one, but pre-write it. Why? I'm gonna tell you why. It's gonna make it easier for you in the long run, okay? You can pre-write maybe 1, 2, or 3 chapters in like a matter of 1 or 2 hours. And what do I mean by pre-write? I'm not telling you to write the whole chapter and then rewrite it, add it a little bit. No, write bullet points of what you want your characters to do. I know, fight scene, okay, fight scene, lose, they escape in this sequence, and then they talk about something. End of chapter. So you have your bullet points and you can expound upon them, okay? Expound my face. Because if you do this, you are gonna see in the long run how your chapters can connect. You see, like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they have like a little bit of like sense to them, you know? I used to write on the spot. I used to just sit down and just write my idea. It's not bad as an exercise, okay? You can actually do this and it's gonna help you improvise when you have writer's block. When you're unable to do this, you can actually go ahead and do improv writing, as I call it, okay? Disclaimer before I keep going. I may be wrong about this. These are not absolutes. These are things I do and that I've seen people do that actually quite work well for me and people that write like me. I'm not telling you to pre-write your whole book and then actually write it. Just pre-write 3 chapters, sit down, write for a couple of weeks or days or hours, I don't know. It depends on how long your chapters are. And then sit down again, pre-write, take a day to pre-write, to actually think about things. Because it's also a great way of problem solving. You can solve like an actual problem that you have with your story. All people have this this writer's block or problems with their own story on how to solve a problem. God knows that I've been trying to solve my own problems in my own story, and it's difficult. But with pre-write, it's gonna be easy. So let's just jump into point number 3, okay? Read similar things to what you're writing. Yes, that's right. Writing, for some people, sadly, it's 75% reading. That's right. To be a good writer, you need to be a good reader. Yes, I'm not telling you to just go ahead and read like 5 books a week. No, don't do that. But if you're gonna write some, I don't know, in the horror genre, grab a classic on that genre. Can be, I don't know, The Exorcist, for example. Grab a new book, like something new that just came out, and grab something bad. You get those 3 things, you read them, and you are gonna have an understanding of what to do. If you read things similar to what you want to write, you're gonna get a scope of, oh, okay, so this has been done, this can be improved, this is a good concept, and you can take, because originality is overrated, first of all, and it doesn't exist. Everything is a copy of a copy of a copy, and that's the way it is. But you can always count on your spin on it being original, okay? Your way of writing is original, because you wrote it. It's not gonna be the same as me writing it, and it's not gonna be the same as, I don't know, freaking XQC writing a book. Can you imagine that? Supposedly Elon Musk and freaking Mark Zuckerberg are gonna just duke it out in the Coliseum. It's not gonna happen, but it's possible, so who knows? Point number 4. You have your characters, which are the most important part of the story. Without characters, you have nothing. How can you make your characters feel more real, more grounded? Put yourself in the skin of your OC and side characters. Great side characters are vital to your story, okay? So, here are some questions that you can answer for your OC, but for your side characters also. Because the more you know about your characters, the easier it's gonna be to write them. The easier it's gonna be to actually put them on paper and make them believable, okay? So always grab like a questionnaire of, I have like 60 questions for each character on my book, and I answered for each character, relevant character. Actually, there's not a side character that appears once, but I answered every single question for every single character, and I have like 15 to 20 characters. The more you know, the greater the story and the greater the depth of your characters, and also it will give you a clear insight on, are these 2 characters too similar? Can I give them maybe different personality traits? Because even if in your friend group you have opinions and freaking things you like that maybe actually your friend doesn't like. Okay, so we have the last 3 pieces of advice that I think are important. Number 5 is timeline of the world. What does your universe look like? What happened in the past? War, conflict, politics, laws, meaningful events, etc. It's important to have a line of events because it's gonna make your world feel more real. Your characters are not just standing there in a white void. They're standing on an actual world that has consequences, that has ripple effects, butterfly effects, if you may. The actions affect the characters, therefore they affect the world around them. I don't know, let's say you have a fantasy world and there is like a battle, you know, like a tiny like fight, you know, like 3 versus 3, I don't know, like very D&D. And they accidentally destroy, I don't know, the statue of the king. Make it that so it has consequences, or why doesn't it have consequences? Maybe the main protagonist is the hero, so, and it's friends with the king and they don't care. Or maybe they're enemies with the king and now it's just like, okay, you're gonna get executed. You know, the world around you has to be as alive as your characters. That's what makes you feel like, oh, I want to visit this world. I don't know, when you see, like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, when you see Avengers, when you see freaking John Wick, when you see, and it makes you want to visit that universe, it's because the world building around them, it's really good, and it's really interesting. For example, and I'm gonna show off a little bit. I have a freaking timeline for one of my books. This, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 timelines. Can you see this insanity? I'm insane, okay? I'm insane! That's a really good meme template. So yeah, write a timeline, spend time on it. Why? Because it's gonna be good for your book. Number 6 is title. The title of your book can always wait. You don't have to have it at the first 100 pages, and you don't have to have it at the first 200 pages. And in the last 300 pages, you're gonna probably have to have it. But it's important that it's a good title. A title that can convey what happens in the book, or it's eye-catching at least. And references something that happens in the book, not necessarily directly, but like the theme maybe, you know? If your story is about an immortal cockroach that time travels, the immortal cock, no, but the immortal cock. I actually like that one. That's like very simple. Don't judge a book by its cover. It's a lie. We all do it, and it's the way it is. Last but not least, your mom. Okay, give me her number. No, just kidding. The end, the final part of your book, the most difficult part. If your ending isn't good, people are gonna hate it because it's the way it is. If you have a shitty ending, it's gonna go. You can have a great, awesome story, and then it all falls down. And your readers and your viewers are gonna be disappointed, and they're gonna be just like looking at you and cursing your name forever. An ending has to be great. So don't pick the first ending that comes to mind. Go through every possibility, because if you grab the first ending that you have in mind, maybe it's a really good one. Maybe you can work with that. But if you have the first one and you decide on the first one, maybe the reader is gonna guess it pretty easily, because it's the first one you came up with. Because a good story is gonna always make you try and guess how it's gonna end. How is it gonna end? Because it's so good that I don't want it to end, but if it ends, I want it to be good. If you have an easy to guess as an end, people are gonna probably turn away from your story because they know how it ends, and people don't want to know how it ends. Usually, I don't want to guess how people end. I don't want to guess how people end, and I don't want to guess how stories end. And I think that's it. That's about it. That's all the 7 tips that I had for today. There's a lot more that I'm going to add. I don't know, if you like this video, let me know in the comments below and leave a like, and maybe I'll do another one of these. If you hated this video, leave a comment down below and tell me how you hate my microphone maybe, or my voice, or the way I speak. Thank you everybody so much for watching another writing video after like 3 to 7 months. I don't know exactly how many months has it been. And I'll see you on Friday. I meant the 3.